Pastor Matthew Stuckey here from Verity Baptist Church, Philippines, just making a quick missionary update for the month of November 2024. It was a great month. We had 1,228 salvations, which is a big month for us. The month started on November 1st with All Saints Day, which is a national holiday. We had a lot of people out soul winning, and the month ended November 30th with a soul winning marathon on Bonifacio Day, which is a national hero in the Philippines. That event was in Tanay Rizal, partnering with Steadfast Baptist Philippines. We had a lot of members from our church that made the trip up there to be a part of that event, over 150 salvations, and so almost 50 soul winners total. So it was a great event, and it led to big results. We also had our 2 anniversaries this month, and so in Manila was our 6-year anniversary, 142 in attendance, which was a record attendance. That beat any total we've had for missions trips or when we've had guest preachers preach for us. At our new building, we have a lot more capacity for 142. There's no way we could have fit that many people at our old building. And 142, it definitely is a pretty packed crowd, but we do have the capacity for that many people. And in the future, we plan to build a second floor, and it will give us even more room to have, preach to even and reach even more people. And so 142 was great in attendance. The sermon was "Their rock is not as our rock." And so I already had this sermon written, and I was preparing it a couple days before. I thought about the name that God was really known as during the days of Moses was Jehovah. You think of Jehovah God. And in today's world, a lot of people would say they believe in Jehovah God, but they believe only the love and the mercy and the long suffering and the compassion of Jehovah God, and they reject the negative characteristics of God. And a lot of my points actually lined up with the acronym Jehovah, for the sermon. And I was thinking in my head, I wonder if I can just find the characteristics of Jehovah lining up with that acronym perfectly. And it's in that chapter you can find it. I stayed in that chapter. I stayed in the book of Deuteronomy. And in that chapter, you find the characteristics of J, jealous; E, exacting; H, holy; O, offensive; V, vengeful; A, angry; H, hateful. Because these are characteristics people would not embrace with God, and yet they are just as important and just as part of who God is as the love of God and the mercy of God. So I kind of talked about how people say they believe in Jehovah God, but only the nice characteristics, whereas they want to reject the negative characteristics. And their rock is not as our rock, because we do believe in both the positive and the negative characteristics of God. So I encourage you to check out that sermon. It is definitely one of my favorite sermons I've preached this year. In Pampanga, we had our 5-year anniversary. We had a record attendance of 46. Now, we've had more than 46 in church before, but that was when we, paid for vehicles for people from other areas to come down, or really encouraged people to come down. This was simply 46 Kapampangans, and so we have grown in Pampanga. And we started with a very small number in Pampanga, so we've more than doubled in size over the time, which is great. We're slowly building, and so it was exciting to have 46. It gave us a packed crowd at the location we're at. I preached "The wise man's eyes are in his head," which is essentially saying to follow not your heart, but to actually follow your mind and logic and just wisdom. And so I just recently finished memorizing the book of Ecclesiastes, and so I've had a lot of sermon ideas come to my mind. That's the sermon I preached, found from the book of Ecclesiastes. So it's a great month overall, and of course we're hitting the holiday season, and we're trying to have that balance of still being zealous and doing lots of soul winning. I also want people to be able to have a chance to have a bit of a break, spend time with family, and of course remembering Jesus Christ, because Christmas is about Christ, not about Santa Claus or about us, but about Jesus Christ. Anyways, thank you, and God bless.